right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Tonight, robbing the dead.
This is a cold world.
The shocking charges against a car crash witness.
Right now, a hotter pattern is building towards St. Louis. Why the heat is more of a concern Friday and into next week.
But first tonight, jobs in jeopardy.
Will I make it? Am I going to be retained,
Why a long-standing local company could be cutting 1,000 jobs.
Workers at Granite City Works could be out of a job in 2 years. Good evening. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. The company's owner, U.S. Steel, is preparing to repurpose the plant. It's been the top employer in the town for more than a century. Robert Townsend is live outside the plant. He talked with a longtime employee tonight. Robert.
Hey there, Mike. U.S. Steel says it wants to shift gears here at its Granite City mill. Now, as a result, the worker I talked to says his life could be in limbo.
Oh, I'm definitely upset.
Daniel Ryan of Dupo has worked at U.S. Steel's Granite City Works for nearly 23 years. In the last 3 years, he's been a cold mill mechanic here.
I used to love it, but I will say here lately, it just seems like we're always nervous. It's like we never know what's around the corner.
Ryan says Tuesday, when word fell that many employees at the steelmaking plant could soon lose their jobs, it felt like a punch in his gut.
They told us we're done. We got 2 years and they're going to shut everything down but a little small portion. U.S.
Steel, the plant's Pittsburgh-based owner, announced it's considering a deal with a Chicago-based company to repurpose blast furnaces at Granite City Works. If the plan goes through, steel production at the 127-year-old Granite City plant would end and nearly 1,000 workers will lose their jobs.
Somehow we all knew it was in the wings, just waiting to happen.
Daniel Ryan is a 50-year-old father of 3 and a husband.
I don't know what's going to happen to me with 23 years. Will I make it? Am I going to be retained? I'm so close. If I could just get to that pension or that retirement.
The president of the local chapter of the United Steelworkers calls U.S. Steel's potential decision a betrayal of the workers and the Granite City community.
It's more of a definitive permanent shutdown, where in the past we looked at idling and shutting down a facility or a portion of facilities, but that was usually market driven.
I didn't see myself at age 50 going through this still, and here we are.
Currently, about 28,000 people live here in Granite City. Now, Ryan and Simmons also worry the potential job losses will have a major impact on this small community. We're live in Granite City. Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Developing tonight, a top aide for St. Louis County Executive Sam Page has resigned. Calvin Harris, who served as Page's chief of staff, says he needs to focus on his mental health after a recent death in the family. But the departure coincides with an allegation that a high-level member of Page's administration videotaped himself engaged in a sex act inside his government office. The Missouri Highway Patrol is now investigating the matter. You can read more about this right now at KSDK.com.
Family members are mourning the loss of a man who was killed in a car crash right in front of his own house in Pine Lawn. The events that followed after the collision are even more disturbing. Pepper Baker joins us live in studio with these unsettling details. Pepper?
Yes, 46-year-old Arthur Lamont Fulton was backing into his driveway on Jennings Station Road when another driver hit and killed him. While witnesses and family waited for an ambulance, another man walked up and stole the jewelry Fulton was wearing.
This shouldn't still look like this, and then this still gives you a bad memory of your relative, your loved one you lost, because you're coming by, you see the same mess.
Gerald Fulton gets flashbacks looking at what's left behind from the crash on Jennings Station Road Sunday night. His cousin, Arthur Lamont Fulton, was hit while backing into his driveway.
As he was coming in, there was a car coming down, going 100 miles an hour. It clipped him in the front. And the car that hit him stopped there and burst into flames. And this car came from there all the way down to where the candle's at. To dead stop.
I almost had a panic attack because I just didn't want it to be true.
Marcus Fulton says his older brother was a father of 4. He had 3 adult children and an almost 1-year-old girl.
People needed money for things. He put the money up for it to help them. He did a lot of things for people that were in need. Way more, it's good outweigh this bad by a million to one.
Fulton, who went by Lamont, died at the scene. What's even worse, a passerby came up and stole the jewelry he was wearing.
You robbing someone that's dying or had died, that makes no sense to me. If I come to a scene, I'm trying to help. So to go in and just, he's lifeless, he's helpless, and you in there robbing, that's crazy to me.
The North County Police Cooperative caught the jewelry thief, who is now charged with a Class D felony and being held in the St. Louis Justice Center. Fulton's loved ones and Pine Lawn United for Change are now focused on demanding local leaders and law enforcement make that stretch of road safer.
Most people driving up and down this street 50, 60 miles per hour. You know, some people driving even faster.
The Pine Lawn Police Department was here. It really wasn't that many accidents on this strip.
This street should either become a one-way or you should have police everywhere because they speed down here.
Now, the driver who crashed into Fulton is being treated at Barnes Jewish Hospital. Police were able to return the jewelry to Fulton's family, and they also told me that they're aware of the danger speeding along Jennings Station Road and are collecting data to find a solution to slow drivers down.
Pepper, thanks. New information tonight in that deadly crash that killed 3 young boys. A source close to the investigation tells 5 on Your Side the 13-year-old driver took a family member's car without their knowledge. That car happened to be a decommissioned Hillsdale police car, which was likely going 80 to 90 miles per hour when it slammed into a tree along New Florissant Road late Sunday night. The juvenile driver faces manslaughter charges. The crash killed his 9-year-old cousin and 2 other 13-year-old boys.
The daughter of the man accused of murdering his son with special needs testified during his trial today. Today, Lynn Ferguson testified the night before 9-year-old Christian disappeared in 2003. Her father, DeJuan Ferguson, took him out of their shared bedroom before there was a struggle and then silence. Defense attorneys say Lynn's story has grown over the years, attempting to cast doubt on the witness. DeJuan Ferguson always maintained Christian, who has never been found, disappeared when someone stole his car.
Well, we are now 34 days away from the Missouri primary, and tonight former U.S. Senator and Missouri Attorney General Jack Danforth is making moves to try and shape the race for U.S. Senate.
The 85-year-old Republican wants Missourians to elect a new independent senator this fall. In a one-on-one interview with our political editor Mark Maxwell, Danforth warned against the polarizing nature of our politics and urged voters to pick leaders who are not so extreme.
I can't do nothing.
Former Senator Jack Danforth says it's time for a new third party to mix up American politics.
Both parties have gone extreme, and I think we have to face up to it and provide an alternative to it.
He's hardly impressed with the candidates running for the Senate in Missouri's Republican primary.
People would rather go to the polls and vote for none of the above.
Missouri's Attorney General Eric Schmitt is one of the contenders.
You know the role of the Attorney General in Missouri better than most anyone.
Yes, I do.
Do you see authenticity in Eric Schmitt?
I see him involved in a lot of very high-profile things that don't pertain to the job of the Attorney General.
Is he grandstanding?
Well, I would say so, yeah. I just wonder if he's doing the job that he was elected to do.
Danforth's review of Eric Greitens' rhino hunting ad wasn't any better.
This is beyond crazy. And if you're in the Senate, your job is to legislate. It isn't to throw bombs.
When Danforth was in the Senate, he helped confirm Clarence Thomas to the U.S. Supreme Court. While the ordained minister says he initially opposed the court's ruling on Roe v. Wade, Thomas's decision to take that precedent away now drives the nation farther into division.
These issues are very divisive, and so I'm concerned about them becoming live issues again. I hope that we're not just refighting one cultural battle after another. I don't think that's good for the country.
So who does Danforth believe can unite Missouri and replace Roy Blunt? One of the lawyers questioning witnesses in the January 6th Select Committee investigating the attack on the U.S. Capitol.
Is John Wood ready for prime time?
Yeah, he is definitely ready for prime time, and he is by far the most qualified candidate. just credentials and brains and ability.
What would you say to Missouri Republicans who see a third-party candidate like John Wood as a potential spoiler who might make it easier for a Democrat to win that Senate seat and possibly control which party controls the U.S. Senate?
Joe Biden is so underwater, and the Democratic agenda is so unpopular. So I would say to Republicans who feel that way, I don't see it.
A recent poll found Attorney General Eric Schmitt taking a lead in the Republican primary with 25%. The pollster ranks Eric Greitens and Vicky Hartzler in a dead heat for second place. John Wood jumped into the race today as the independent, which means he will not be on the primary ballot. When Missouri voters head to the polls in November, they will be required to show photo ID. Governor Mike Parson signed a new election bill into law today. Besides voter ID, it prohibits drop boxes for absentee ballots and voting machines. The new law has a 2-week window to cast no-excuse absentee ballots in person.
In less than 26 hours from now, the new fiscal year gets underway in St. Louis City. And tonight, for the first time since 2019, the city has a budget approved by the Board of Aldermen.
Budgets are moral documents, and I'm proud to see how the board, Comptroller Green, as well as our office work together to get this across the finish line for the first time in 2 years.
Mayor Tashara Jones signed the budget for 2023 today. It goes into effect Friday. The spending plan includes a 3% pay raise for city employees, more than $3 million for public safety, and nearly $9 million for the Affordable Housing Trust Fund.
First, Roe v. Wade. Now one Supreme Court justice signals other landmark decisions could be overturned. We verify if Clarence Thomas's opinion can set legal precedent. Wild encounter. New video tonight of one family's narrow escape from serious injury during their trip to Yellowstone.
Thursday will be our 20th day with temperatures at or above 90 so far this warm season. Yes, there's some relief from the heat at times over the weekend. We're tracking out our rain chances and how it impacts your outdoor plans.
NTSB investigators are back on the scene of a deadly Amtrak derailment in northwest Missouri today. Investigators say the train was going 87 miles per hour when it hit a dump truck at a railroad crossing near the town of Mendon on Monday. 3 people on the train died. The truck driver was also killed. Dozens more were injured. Charges have been filed on the discovery of 53 migrants found dead in a sweltering tractor trailer in San Antonio, Texas. The truck driver was arrested today for his alleged involvement in the human smuggling operation. Investigators believe he abandoned the truck on the side of the road.
Abortion is now illegal in Missouri following the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. But the new law doesn't include emergency contraceptives. That clarification is coming tonight from both Governor Mike Parson and Attorney General Eric Schmitt's offices. This came to light after St. Luke's Health System in Kansas City, that is not affiliated with St. Luke's here in St. Louis, announced it would not provide Plan B to patients in light of the new law. The hospital has since reversed course. Supporters of abortion access argue birth control and same-sex relationships could also be at risk following last week's ruling. Now, a prominent voice on the court is elevating those concerns. Our Verified team looked into which opinions really carry weight. Here's Abby Larico.
Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health was decided with a majority opinion that says the decision is specific to the right to an abortion. But a concurring opinion by Justice Clarence Thomas brings up other issues because he writes that the court should reconsider precedents set by cases allowing for legal birth control and same-sex relationships in marriage.
We turn to the Cornell Legal Information Institute, the Administrative Office of the U.S. Courts, and attorney Tillman Breckenridge to find out first, what is a concurring opinion? U.S. Court procedure explains, quote, if a justice agrees with the outcome of the case, but not the majority's rationale for it, that justice may write a concurring opinion.
That happens quite often.
Breckenridge explains they're a way for a judge to get on the record with their interpretation of the law and the type of arguments they're open to in the future.
It can be used as a signal to bring new cases on a similar type of issue using the same reasoning. Now, it also can be an opportunity just for a justice or a judge to say to his or her colleagues, this is where I'm coming from on this.
Now to verify, does a concurring opinion set legal precedent? Sources say no.
They don't have precedential value. They don't control the law in any way.
That doesn't mean they're unimportant. Cornell's Legal Information Institute explains, quote, concurring opinions are not binding since they did not receive the majority of the court's support, but they can be used by lawyers as persuasive material.
They can be used and cited in later opinions to say this justice made this point however many years ago. And I agree with that. It's a foundational document sometimes for later decisions of the court.
Appellate courts can only make decisions on cases that are brought to them. So while Justice Thomas says he thinks certain issues should be reconsidered, someone would have to take cases questioning the legality of birth control and same-sex relationships all the way to the Supreme Court before they can actually weigh in. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
What would you like for us to verify? Send an email to verify@kstk.com.
History will be made tomorrow at the U.S. Supreme Court. Ketanji Brown Jackson will be sworn in as the first black woman to serve as a Supreme Court justice. Jackson was confirmed by the Senate back in April. She replaces Justice Stephen Breyer, who announced his retirement back in January. Medal of Honor recipient Herschel Woody Williams has died. He was the last surviving World War II veteran to receive the honor. He was awarded the Medal of Honor by President Harry S. Truman in 1945. Williams died this morning at the VA hospital in West Virginia that bears his name. He was 98. And you still have 5 days to donate to Folds of Honor campaign, sponsored by Schnucks. From now until July 4th, you can round up at the register. The money raised provides scholarships for spouses and children of fallen and wounded service members. And 5 on Your Side is a proud partner.
A wild encounter for a family visiting Yellowstone National Park, and it was caught on camera. Park officials say a bison charged that group. This video posted on social media shows the bison going after a child. Well, the man grabs the kid before being thrown by the bison. The child was not hurt. The man suffered an injury to his arm. That incident is under investigation. Quick thinking. Glad it was an adult, not the kid.
All right, let's turn to Scott Connell, and everybody's looking ahead to the weekend and what's in store for fireworks all over the bi-state.
You know, we have fireworks displays happening, and it's not just Monday night on the 4th of July. There's some spots that are doing it Saturday night, places having it Sunday night. Fireworks tonight, yeah, we didn't have them at the end of the game at Busch Stadium, but you can see it's still nice and bright over at Busch as they're cleaning up after today's game. Most of the folks have left Missouri Botanical Garden this evening after the Whitaker Music Festival, as we had a nice evening for that. But you know what? We topped out above 90 degrees today, the 19th day so far this warm season, where the temperature's been at or above 90 degrees. And the 30-year average is up to 47, and we're thinking at this point we're going to have more than 47 90-degree days. I mean, we're going to have number 20 and 21 in the next 2 days. Right now, skies are clear around St. Louis. It's still 83 degrees, but you know what? The humidity, it's not as bad as it could be. Those dew points are still in the 50s, so that 91 this afternoon felt more like 89, 90. Sure, that's hot, but the humidity is going to creep back in here as we head through the next couple of days. You won't notice as much tomorrow, but once we start to really increase that front, get it closer here by Friday, we'll start to pull that moisture up with those winds out of the south from the Gulf of Mexico. In town, we stay in the 60s. Outlying areas, well, some upper 50s, close to 60 degrees. So a pretty comfortable start again tomorrow morning. We're back into the low and mid 90s, but again, the heat index won't be very far away from the actual air temperature. That changes on Friday with winds out of the south and southwest tomorrow, and into Friday, we'll bring some humidity in here. Might see some spot showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon, especially south of St. Louis over southeast Missouri, far southern Illinois. The main show looks to be later on Friday night and into Saturday. And again, it's scattered. We've got the front that's going to be sliding through here. It doesn't get far enough away from us to completely wash out the chances of a shower or thunderstorm. But we're also talking about more dry time than we are talking about rain time. The front lifts back on the 4th of July as a warm front, which means Monday ends up going back into the 90s. We'll flirt with that 90-degree weather Saturday and Sunday. But one thing we know for sure, once the humidity gets here Friday, it's pretty much sticking with us through the weekend. Your chances for showers and thunderstorms appear to be greatest on Saturday. But again, there'll be dry time, and it could very well be that there are a limited number of fireworks displays that are actually impacted by any rain chances as we head through the weekend. Make sure you have that 5 on your side app, and that way you can check the radar anytime. Mid-90s the next couple of days, heat index close to 100 by the time we get to Friday, and then you see those 90s next week. Look at the low temperatures. We're not getting in the bonus realm with overnight lows next week. They are all in the 70s each night, even close to 80 a couple of nights.
All right, Scott, thank you. Frank, what's coming up?
Well, and Brad Beal is moving into Scott Connell's tax bracket. The Cardinals can't close again. And how is the movie The Godfather connected with the Live Golf Tour? I'll explain next. The famous line from the movie Glengarry Glen Ross is "Coffee is for closers." The Cardinals aren't closers. They've now lost the series finale 7 straight times, and they're 2-7 when they've had a chance to sweep. 5th inning, 2-2 game. The Cardinals get to the great Sandy Alcantara. Dylan Carlson with a base knock, which will score a streaking Andrew Kisner. Cards up 3-2. You know who was really good again tonight? Andre Palante. He went 7, allowed 5 hits, 2 runs, and touched 97 on the gun. 9th inning, 2 outs. Avisail Garcia takes Ryan Helsley deep. That's 411 feet. And that will be a 4-3 Marlins victory.
Pretty simple. He put some pretty good at-bats against a really good pitcher, one of the best pitchers in the game right now. You got your best guys in the back end, and sometimes it doesn't work out. That's the way I see it.
Chaminade grad Bradley Beal is officially on the free agent market. Today, he declined his $36.4 million player option with the Wizards. This is a little complicated, but Brad could also sign a 5-year contract with the Wizards worth $248 million. If he leaves Washington, he likely gets a 4-year deal, $184 million. Hey, one of the biggest stories in sports is the Live Tour. After saying he was against it, Brooks Koepka has joined the tour and will play tomorrow in their event in Portland. The 4-time major championship winner is believed to be receiving somewhere between $100 and $150 million guaranteed. Koepka is ranked 16th in the world. Fellow golfer Rory McIlroy criticized Koepka for changing his mind.
Look, he's entitled to his opinion. He can think whatever he wants. He's going to do what's best for him and his family. I'm going to do what's best for me and my family. And can't hate on anybody for that. And like I said, opinions change, man.
Yes, they do. We finish up with Frankly Speaking. I know there are many out there who think these golfers joining the Live Tour are just bad people for accepting blood money from the Saudis. Your car is likely filled with Saudi oil. But these guys have hit wedges in 90-degree heat over the last 2 decades so they can make money playing their sport. They're leaving the PGA Tour. Big deal. The PGA Tour just organizes events. Golfers don't work for the tour. They're independent contractors. And by just signing on that dotted line, they can make $100 million. How do you say no to that? I do find it interesting that the PGA Tour is talking now about adding 8 new events with $20 million purses in the United States and 3 new events internationally with $25 million purses. So if the money was there before, why didn't you give it out a little bit earlier? Some who are joining the Live Tour said they will donate some of the money to charity and grow the game of golf. Hey, the Live Tour is like the movie The Godfather. It's not personal, it's just business. And these golfers were given an offer they simply couldn't refuse. And that'll do it in sports.
All right, Frank, thanks.
TikTok. Time could be up for a popular social media app if the U.S. government has its way. The FCC is asking Apple and Google to remove TikTok from its app stores. The agency says that app's Chinese-owned parent company is collecting user data. Now, this is just a request. The FCC can't remove them. Apple and Google haven't responded to the FCC. If they did comply, TikTok could still be available on third-party sites.
Well, the party is officially over. Airbnb is slamming the doors shut on house parties with a permanent ban. A temporary ban went into effect at the start of the pandemic. The company says in that time there was a 47% drop in complaints in Missouri. Going forward now, any customer caught holding a party in a rental could be banned from the platform.
This might make you feel old. St. Louis rapper Nelly released his Grammy Award-winning album Nellyville 20 years ago this week. It included smash hits like Hot in Here and Dilemma. To celebrate, Urban Legends is releasing the album on vinyl for the first time ever. Pre-orders for the deluxe edition can be made now on Urban Legends' website.
Time just seems to go faster and faster. You know, when you get older, it just speeds up.
I'm figuring that out.
Well, you're still very young.
Thanks, Mike.
There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Elizabeth Olsen is Jimmy's guest. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. And we hope you have a great tomorrow.